And we are live, everyone. I'm Jason, your host of Awake Souls, and I'm joined by the limitless one, Ronnie Shine Harris. How you doing, brother?
Awesome. Really nice to be here tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So it's going to be more of a chilled back, relaxing type of night. We want to clean up a few topics. Whoo! It's been busy. It's been busy. All that shill fighting, all that stuff that was going on with the fake breakup of the fake flat Earth. It was. I got all wound up. I was all wound up, and I realized today, like, we just came out on top of that whole thing, and they're not going to talk about it anymore. So, the people that watched what took place, they've been seeing the stuff that we've been sharing. Everybody's going to come to their own conclusions, but now it's time for us to go back to what it is that we do, and that is keep looking for the return of our Savior, looking for the beginning of this great tribulation, paying attention to the times that we're in, and so we're going to be doing some of that tonight. What do you say, brother?
Well, another part of our ministry is also to help comfort the people that tune in, the people that watch us and that are a part of our team here. We want you guys to remember in the winter season in the north, less daylight hours. We tend to be more depressed, and we need to find other ways to find the same amounts of energy so that we can carry out our day without being affected by it. So constantly try to be in, as peaceful states of mind as you can. Eat healthy, get lots of rest, and exercise as much as you can, especially during these winter month seasons. Yeah, this whole barrage that we went through since they did the controlled fake demolition that we jumped all over, it's just been battle after spiritual battle, and it still continues, going in and out of different social media jails. But I guess we could definitely tell that we are getting closer to the end times. We're seeing massive destruction, wars and rumors of wars, supposedly. We're seeing great devastation, earthquakes in various places. We're seeing signs in the heavens. We're seeing all these things. The new world order and the complete totalitarian tyrannical takeover is well full in swing. We're 2 years into this thing. You cannot buy and sell in some places now. This is all being fulfilled right now. We're all experiencing this together. And I think it's amazing that we're all alive to witness this together. To me, that's got to be, if I had to ask, can I go in at the end? It would be really nice to, if you could get that time slot. And the scriptures do tell us that whoever was first shall come last, and those that are first and those that are last will come first. And we're definitely seeing that take place right now. So yeah, again, everybody, I just want you to remember to stay as calm as you can. Do things that spiritually feed you, right? So if you can be around animals, and I'm not just saying like house pets, I mean animals in the wild. um, some other things that are really important: getting new bed sheets, keeping yourself hygienical, like do extra pampering on yourself. These are things that I constantly try to tell people, because during the winter season, like nobody's just all happy and perky because we're not out in the sun. Like Jason, you are absolutely a sun monster, right?
I do like the sun. That's one of the main reasons. The move from Wisconsin was to get to a place that was warmer and had sun because I crave it. My body seems to really need it. It runs off of it much better than a lack of sun and cold. So, yeah, I recommend getting as much natural daylight as possible. Some other techniques I've always enjoyed: warm soaks like hot tubs, stuff like that. If you've got a gym that you can do that at, if you've got a friend or something, if you got a bathtub, when's the last time you just sat in the bathtub and soaked? So the stresses, they do build up. Like I noticed within myself, I was so wound up and constantly on edge, just scanning. Is somebody releasing something and then watching and making a response? And I was just like super, super wound up that now that doesn't need to be done like that anymore. Now I need to uncoil the springs a little bit and loosen them up. Um, so I myself today have had to focus on breathing, the music I found today, stuff like that are all things that help get a person to relax, and that's when we're the healthiest, when when we're stressed and wound tight, that's when our muscles tend to spasm. We run into other health issues. So we recommend taking a moment to relax, everyone. Highly.
Well, and then that really segues into the next topic that I wanted to discuss, and that's the destruction that happened in the mid United States. My heart goes out to everybody that's being affected right now by the storms. We know there's more storms taking place right now as we speak. And, I like to go after shills and lies and deception, and I like to share truth. But again, a large part of me is compassionate. And I know that, so during eclipses, we do have weather patterns that follow. We've been witnessing it for years now. Harvey happened right after the Great American Eclipse that Jason and I filmed. So we've seen these types of patterns, and we're going to see continuing, worsening of the weather patterns. We're seeing things like these, what are they called? Atmospheric rivers. We're seeing, what's that one that goes like a land hurricane? I can't even remember the name of it. We're seeing things that we never seen before. So like I
there's
said,
stuff like Durachios and all these.
Durachio.
Is it?
Yeah, you got it. Duracho, I think, right? We're seeing all these different things spark off. And again, I want to remember to remind people that like you have absolutely nothing to fear, right? So I'll just touch on this real quick. The baptism, being reborn again, first you must be born again through the water. So the reincarnation thing is something that we're going to continue to bring up for the next at least 3.5 years, as far as I can tell. And you have nothing to fear. Right? If you're a good person, you have good in your heart, and you believe in the death and resurrection of Yahawahashai, you will be reincarnated or resurrected. So we might get resurrected full adult bodies. We don't know exactly how that's going to go yet, but we know for sure that you'll be brought back again. So we really don't have anything to fear. What we're seeing right now, we should be celebrating. The scriptures do say that those that love me and follow me will go through tribulation, but it will be added to them as righteousness. Because if you're not tested, what good are you? You're not good. The whole reason that we're here is so that we could go through the test and learn. So just try to be cheerful. Try to look at the destruction and the devastation that's happening. Try to look at it with, we're so close to the end when all of the wicked is going to be removed. Everything that you work for and do is going to be yours. You don't have to give it away to some tiny hat guy who pushing usury on you. None of that is going to exist anymore. Everything is going to be just. Right. And we're going to build an amazing paradise together, all of us. So we have nothing to worry about. Bring the destruction, right? Take us out. Go ahead. We want out. Jason wants out now. I don't pray to get out. I want to stay. I don't want to go anywhere. I want to help heal as many people, get as many people into the kingdom as I possibly can. That is my job. You would never hear me begging to be taken out of here. If I get taken out of here, so be it. But that is not my role. So again, the last thing that I want to say is to everybody, you see the stuff going on, get timestamps. What are you doing if you're not writing blogs, sharing memes, making videos, standing up, fighting back, going to your town hall and speaking and recording it and publishing that to the internet, boycotting all the places that are doing what they're doing? The only way that we fight back is by not giving them any power. Stop watching the news, stop buying the products from the people that make you wear the masks, right? Find ways around it. Make an internet site and plug all the people on it, all the businesses that are making people wear the masks, and then boycott those places. You right away, boom, you'll start to see the mandates being removed. Now, the last thing I'm going to say before I throw it to you, Jason, is that we know we're not going to defeat Satan and the wicked right now. That's not the way that the scriptures read. We would like to. I would like if I could just do like some kind of sonic blast and just kill all of the bad guys. I would do it right now, but that's not what the scriptures say. So we just need to continue to stay reading the scriptures, having faith, right? Fighting back, showing the rebel spirit that we don't follow man-made rules. We follow the living creator, right? So I'm going to throw it back to you, brother. I really want to lift people up. Like, we have nothing to fear.
Yeah. So speaking to that, there was a 1-minute clip put out by Adam, Parable of the Fig Tree, and it had a verse from Enoch that points out that there are 3 groups of people during the Great Tribulation, and it's a good message because it's from Scripture, and what it shares is that when the Great Tribulation begins, the righteous become protected. Right away they're protected. Then there's another group of people that weren't righteous, but will bend the knee and call upon the name of our Savior Yahawahashai. And then there's another group of people that aren't righteous and they don't bend the knee, and they all get destroyed. So 3 groups of people. And I know that our audience, the people that come here that are looking for truth, that are not liars, cheaters, stealers, and stuff like that, those are the people that are going to be immediately protected. And then there's going to be the people that then do bend the knee to Yahawahashai afterwards, once everything comes to light, once they realize what's going on, and they don't want to go off to destruction. But there's going to be this rebellious group of people that are going to be adamant and say, no, we won't bend the knee. So
someone asked if we're Freemasons in the chat. Do you have the pyramid with the eyeball being ripped out of it? No, we're absolutely. So we can just state off right off the top of the bat here. Jason and I have never sworn the oaths to any societies. We weren't even allowed into like the cool kids' tree houses. Right? We weren't allowed.
Well, I was raised Jehovah's Witness. I couldn't hang out with anybody.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You were cool enough, all right? I wasn't, all right? Is that what you were trying to say?
Well, no, I wasn't cool enough. I wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to hang out with anybody.
Yeah, and nor have either one of us been invited. Right? I think there's some rule, like you have to be invited to become one of them things. And no, neither of us have ever been anything like that. I would strongly suggest if anybody on the other side of the screen is a Freemason and you swore a death oath, that you absolutely renounce it and beg for forgiveness and mercy, and you'll be given it, right? That's my advice. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, so then there's a couple of topics that we had in mind that we wanted to go through tonight. One of them had to do with when we went on the Baby Truthers show, like their big debunk of us was saying that we say that the clouds touched the water. That debunks us. We said the clouds touched the water. Well, we didn't say that the clouds touched the water. We're going to go into detail. Iru came in. You can barely understand him. We didn't have a platform where we're going to be able to sit there and go through and reason with everything. I already know that Iru is the guy that makes the CGI from my material to PSYOP it. That's literally his job. It's the reason why David Weiss brought him in, and the reason why he got brought to that show. So we'll go through that information tonight. We'll take a look at some sunrise, sunset footage with zoom photography. So this is research that every single one of you can do from the comfort of your own home. All you need is YouTube, and you can search through this footage and look for the things that we're going to be pointing out tonight, and be your own researcher. Come to your own conclusions based off of what you can see is true and actual evidence, not CGI stuff that David Weiss is putting out, but stuff that you see a whole bunch of people that are doing these recordings. They're all congruent. They all check out. They're all showing the same type of stuff. We'll point that stuff out, and we'll see what you think. Are the clouds down at the water or not? We'll take a look at that. There's a couple comments that I have from recent stuff that I would like to go through. And then, like you were talking about the weather events, maybe we'll go into more detail about that. Is there other stuff you wanted to go through, brother?
No, that's it.
Should we go into a screen share, or do you want to talk about other stuff?
No, let's do it. Let's get into the stuff that you got prepared. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is the...
You're acting like I'm prepared, though.
We are your reality witnesses. We are your top search for news and information regarding Christianity, simulation reality, and the Flat Earth proofs. We together formed Beyond Flat Earth, and now we run another podcast called The Daily Realm, under the division of the Yahawahashai News Network. Do you have us off screen yet?
Just made the transition now.
So now I got a new setup. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I got to learn how to do different things now.
Changing the way you run your studio, brother?
Yeah, I'm trying to make it a little better. I'm always trying to improve everything that I do. I'm constantly trying to be better at it, and to be steady, and to be again, everybody habits, losing 200 pounds, at 40 years old has taught me that the only way to defeat anything is through repetition and basically forming habits. And this goes for anything in our lives. So working out isn't about losing weight. It's about forming a habit of being healthy. Eating healthy is a habit. Researching online. Wait till you guys see, I've got another video coming out. It's a throwback to a jihadi ISIS thing. It's really funny. It's this character called John Can't Lie. I'm looking forward to getting that out. I think that should be out by Friday. So make sure you're tuned into the Limitless channel. Also, please join us on Reality Check at Telegram. We do a lot of stuff there. That seems to be the only platform that's not going to put us in social media jail. So it's very important that you guys sign up there. I'm going to put it in the chat. Jason, what do you have ready to prepare? What have you brought today?
Some old stuff. We're going back to the old stuff. And then we'll look at some other people's stuff. But I just want to point out for anybody that followed the baby truther thing, if you heard Eero bring up clouds at the water, and then other people in the chat were just barking about it all the time. It's from this video. So Eero loves this video that I took. This right here is my first footage with the Nikon P900. I got that first when I was on vacation. So I got up on vacation before the sun rose so that I could catch this. I had no idea that this is what a sunrise or sunset looks like, as far as the way the shape of it comes around and it does this flare at the water, and the way you see the waves rippling in here, and the whole shape that takes place here. So I just want to point this out quick. There's no clouds in this scene, but so right there, I mean, do you see how there's an interaction between the sun and the water? You can see how there's I call it an energy transfer, and I call this liftoff. Right, so then you got these ripples in the water. This is congruent across other people's footage that is real. And so when you go and record these things yourself, you'll be able to spot when other people are sharing real stuff and when they're faking stuff as well. So here the sun got up higher, and now here this is like the next morning, and now all of a sudden, now keep in mind this is my first time with the camera, and I was using autofocus. I didn't know how to use manual focus yet, and so sometimes it comes in real nice, sometimes it gets a little bit blurry, but you're going to be able to see that there are clouds down at the water line in this scene. Once I zoom back out, the camera will do a refocus. Alright, so it's going to get a little better right around. Alright, right there. So here you can see a cloud that's in front of the sun, right? But it's right down at the water, and then you have the white of the sun really still underneath this cloud here. You can see how the rest of the clouds go off to the horizon. Now, they wanted to make me sound dumb, like I don't understand that the bottoms of these clouds are relatively the same height. And, in this case, they're probably 2,000 feet up. Would be a rough guess. But what we know and understand and have modeled is that this ceiling of clouds, it comes down to our horizon line, right? And when you're at water, you have this nice crisp horizon line, and the clouds come right down to that. And it's the way our sky is set up. So after having studied this stuff and recorded it myself so many times, the point that I can't ignore is that there is a cloud in front of the sun at the water, literally at the water. And so my footage wasn't the best of it. There's better stuff coming up here, but this is the whole concept that there are. So you don't get these scenes out over land. let's go to the next day. So this one blew my mind because I could clearly see these clouds down at the waterline with my own eyes. I didn't need a zoom camera to see this at all because they were all silhouetted, lit up. Right with my own eyes, I could see all this. And a lot of the time I didn't zoom all the way in because you sort of lose some of the detail by getting too close. Right? I saw this in the viewfinder. I'm like, well, that doesn't look like much. So let's go back out and look at this a little bit wider. All right, so when it comes out and it gets a little bit wider, you've got these clouds like this, and of course they run out to the horizon. You have little poofs down here. These ones, they are down. Am I going to say that they're touching the water? No, because if I got in a boat and drove towards the sun, these would then rise up in the air. But because of the distance that they are down at the water line in front of the sun. And that's can't be ignored. You can't say that that's not happening. Now in this scene, there's clouds in front of and behind the sun. There was footage that came out from a channel today that is really some of the best I've ever seen. And that to me was a sign that I should bring this up and talk about it because, wow, he's got some great footage.
Yeah, well,
go ahead.
So what I want to explain to people is that objects leaving you will disappear from the ground up depending on their height. So the higher the clouds are, right, the less of the bottoms you will see more of. How do I put this in layman's terms? So the clouds that we're seeing are low enough in the sky, and they're the correct distance away from Jason, this 6 foot, 6.5 observer height. He gets just over 3 miles. And so due to the height of the clouds and the distance to the vanishing point, that's when objects then disappear as they go off. That's the way that the sky meets the ground is what's causing this effect, right? But the fact that the sun is rising through the clouds, interacting with them is the key part. Everything else is just a distraction because the other team will try to tell you that they can, well, with refraction, they're trying to tell you that there's a second sun that's being, beamed into our reality. And what we're saying to you is that's absolutely impossible when they rises up through the clouds. You can see it literally interacting with those clouds right there.
Now, I'm going to say this right now, and you're probably not going to believe me, everyone. But once I show you this other footage, you might. We've been able to show through multiple examples of the way the sun moves through clouds, the way clouds, it'll cut them. It'll cut clouds. We'll watch some go in front, some go behind, and we'll watch them come back together and seam together as the sun's moving through it. We've been able to decipher that the sun is spherical in shape. That it's ball shaped, that it's not a flat disk, right? Because it has 3 dimensions as far as the way it cuts into layers that are in front of and behind it. So as it's coming up right here, these clouds are literally just being like, they're wrapped over the edge of the sun. So this is, as the sun comes up, it's going to come through this and it'll envelop it, it'll disappear, and then it'll reappear once the sun's up above it. So this sort of like wrapping around the sphere, I just want people to start looking at that so that when we look at the other footage, you'll start to see what I'm talking about. But so I zoomed in, zoomed out. So I was just learning how the auto exposure works on a camera like this. And it does a really good job. And this is the older camera too. The 1000 does an even better job. But you can see as the full diameter is coming up here, the amount of how many clouds are being consumed by the sun right there. This back layer right here wraps around behind the sun. It's coming up out of this pocket, and these clouds, like I said, they're not touching the water, but because of the distance that they're out there, they are at the water in the shot. If you drove a boat out towards the sun right here, the boat would go right into what looks like clouds right here, even though from the boat's perspective, the sun would still be off in the distance and these clouds would be over his head. So just trying to get people to understand that concept. And you really need to have water for a shot like this. If you try to do this on land, you need level land. You need nothing at the horizon. So no trees, no buildings. Land can't be undulating because, well, here when we have water, we have the greatest proof of non-curvature, right? So that was the footage that I took. Well, let me show you what popped up in the thread today. Now this is Nikon P1000 Truth Nature. He's got comments turned off on this video. 22 views on it. And this is a sunset. So I was filming sunrises, and this is a sunset. But watch what happens here. You've got the clouds off at the horizon, looking like they're meeting down to the water. You have the sun coming down. Let's check this out. So he's got the same exposure issues as you come in and out. All right, now you start to see the sun melting through these edges here. I'll say consuming these parts of the cloud. This is going to get more and more drastic. Now it looks like lava's pouring out onto the ocean right there. See, the diameter of the sun is creating a wedge cut through these clouds right here. You're seeing the full diameter right down to the water surface. Now you're getting the edges of the sun popping through on the outsides. And watch this descent, and look at where all the lighting in this scene is. So you've got a shadow that's cast right here. You've got these shadows cast right here. Now our sun is really down at its diameter right now. You can see it's bleed through here. Watch this descend. Do you see how there's clouds behind this edge right here? Watch this fill in. See?
So another factor that we have here is the reflectivity of the water along the vanishing point too.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
I think somebody was trying to prove something to do with humidity. Do you want proof that humidity affects perspective? So we say that we get what we call jello. So everything looks a little wavy. But nothing distorts to the point where that cloud doesn't look exactly like that cloud, or the sun isn't the exact same shape. Flat earthers and ball earthers flat earthers that believe in the AE Mappa model share the same ad hoc theories that the ball earth shares. It's all garbage. It's nonsense.
Yeah,
right?
well,
we deal in reality.
If humidity was an issue, so all you have to do is turn and film a building down the beach that's 10 miles away from you. Right? Is it jelloed? It's
jello-y, yes.
Well, yeah, so at 10 miles, it's jelloed, but it's not the humidity, right? So with a building that's 5 miles away, where you can just zoom in and you can practically look into a window with the P1000 from 5 miles away, the humidity does not play a factor unless if it's so humid that it's foggy out. Right? In fog, you're not going to be able to see that far. But even in extreme humidity, you can do this in Louisiana. You can do this in Houston. You can go 5 miles from downtown Houston and film buildings, and they don't look all distorted. Yeah, now, once you get to 10 miles, they'll start to get jello-y and a little wavy, but that happens even in the desert.
And it pixelates out.
And it pixelates out.
Someone's trying to say the sun is 33 miles up.
That's what the Freemason New
so
World Order AE Mappa modelers say.
so
But
listen, Michael, welcome to our channel. My suggestion to you is that you watch for a few hangouts before you just start throwing down everything you think you know, because you're going to find that we don't agree with a lot of the things that you think you know. Now, what we're showing on screen right here absolutely annihilates the fact that you think the sun is 33 miles up. Do you think those clouds, Michael, if you look closely at the screen here, do you think the clouds are 33 miles up? Because the sun is literally in the clouds, interacting with them. Some are behind it, some are in front of it, some are going through it, literally, right? Just look, open your eyes. See, that's the thing, Jason. I think as we move forward, we need to be more direct. I don't care if people want to laugh at me, right? I'm not about, you can mock me all you want. What Jason and I are doing is witnessing what reality is on its purest, truest form. We don't have any bias. We don't care if it's a Mobius strip. We don't care if it's a spinning ball, but it absolutely is not. It's a flat stationary plane. So if you guys just look around and then you see, okay, 33 miles, how far do you think you can see? Right? That's a question that everybody should ask themselves.
well, and we have a reference to a shill in the chat. Somebody asks, anyone see Jay Tolan's triangulation of the sun? Jay Tolan says that people can see 1,200 or 1,500 miles. All you need to do is turn your camera into an infrared camera.
Yeah, just destroy it, right? Rip your lens out and glue this thing onto it.
Yeah, it's absolute nonsense.
Stay away from
the
Jay
research
Tolan.
that we've done over the last 5 years is that the farthest possible sighting that we have come across of anything from a ground-based observation has been just 60 miles. And that takes miraculous conditions to do so.
And anybody that thinks Jay Tolan is someone you should be paying attention to, he literally admits in one of his videos that he helped build one of the space shuttles for NASA. Okay? The infrared dude. He's an absolute con artist. Anybody involved with Globebusters, we'll continue to show you time after time our Kabbalist ball earth shills pretending to be flat earthers only to spread disinformation.
Yeah, the 1,200 miles, the farthest from the plane, that's his CGI bullshit psyop stuff. It's not real. So I've flown in plenty of planes, and I've taken the P900 and filmed as far as I could see, and from that height, right, the distance to the horizon is some 200 odd miles based on distance to the horizon calculators. I can assure you that once you're out a good 75, 80 miles, everything has come together and just blurred, and you can't make out anything. It's all merged together at horizon. You can't zoom in on something 1,200 miles away from an airplane. It's ridiculous. Anybody that believes that has been psyoped. So look at the shadows now that are where the sun is in this set. Look at the way these shadows are becoming more and more pronounced. And this cloud is clearly right now blocking the sun at the waterline while being in front of it. Now, this is a local sun. These clouds right here, look at where the shadows are being cast up. There's clouds that you can see that are behind the sun back here. Right, so this is very local. This is in a person's circle of sight, whatever that is, based on the height of their observation. And you can so clearly see that there are clouds behind it as it descends into the water right out here in front of the observer. This is what is seen over and over and over again. All right, and there it goes. And then you'll see, as soon as it goes, the shadows become even more pronounced. All right, this isn't possible with a sun that's 3,000 miles up, casting shadows back behind like that, or a sun that's 93 million miles away. How could this is such a localized area that a person's looking at. The width right here is a few miles. How can these clouds be dark All right. How can you have shadows being cast already? You turn around and look to the sides and everything's super dim already. Nothing's being lit up by the sun anymore. There's no more shadows being cast on the land anymore. So that is the type of stuff that we point out. Now, Eero will come in and try to say, oh, you guys are crazy. You said clouds touch the water. And miss everything that took place right here. Just absolutely bypass the fact that the sun set full size. It didn't shrink. And it did it right at the horizon where there was clouds in front of and behind it. Right? How can all these people skip past that? Literally ignore the fact that it's descending into the water right in front of the person. That's what we're witnessing. Now, there's some other things associated with this, like the green flash. How many people have heard of the green flash before? Let me show you what the green flash is. All right, so what do we got here? We have a full-size sun, full size, below the clouds. All right, this isn't a reflection coming through the dome, hitting the top of the clouds. This is below the clouds, and it's going to descend into the water right here. Now, this scene doesn't have clouds at the horizon like the other ones we were looking at do, but it's still just incredible because you get to see the green flash. There's no clouds in the way. So there's that merger. It's the same. This is common to everybody's footage. Let's skip ahead here a little. Setting full size, not shrinking. Look at the angle it's coming down at. We can show you in modeling exactly what this angle will be based on your latitude, longitude, and day of the year. That one, hey, did you see it cut the cloud right there? Here's a cloud right here. It's gonna.
Can you miss it? How can you miss this?
It's gonna cut it. But did you see it cut? And then they transition.
And remember, you guys, this is not flat earthers, simulation believers. This is just footage. Someone filming or is it a flat earther? Excuse me, I could be wrong. I don't want to be a liar.
This one's green flash 4K.
Okay.
All right.
So good. I didn't lie. I don't want to lie. I mean, this is just somebody else.
All they did is call it green flash. They didn't say.
You can literally see the sun slicing that cloud right there. Look at it. Okay. I want somebody to explain that to me, please. Make it make sense.
And they cut that section out. That's the gravy.
Wow.
All right. Still fine. They're gonna bring this into its final. Look at how it disappears here. Watch it disappear. This is right down at the water, but a little bit above it. See the color that comes around the edges? Ooh, that was pretty. They're going to show a couple more. Look at that. They show, there's your conditions. Well, there's another one that had more green flashes. This one is from 2018 Flat Earth. This is a Freemason New World Order AE map and model channel. He says close sun. So he's got footage. Probably, I don't know if it's his own or not, but here from an airplane window, looking out the window, this is like the Matt Long type footage of the sun above the clouds, but below the airplane. Because it's just coming. So you get your vantage point, you're looking out the airplane window, you're above the clouds, and the sun is coming out through the clouds there. They have trouble keeping this in frame, but here it comes.
It keeps getting better.
It actually works good when the exposure goes like that. You can really see where it's at, but there's so much footage like this, people. All I did is I typed in sunrise and sunset from an airplane. Right, so here's one example. Let's not take it as gospel, like this is the only stuff. I think, yeah, this is from the same person's channel. These AE map modelers that have the sun always up. And then
It's always approaching and leaving, right?
And then they
come up with these stupid terms.
And then they have this footage that
yeah, the cloud below the sun below the clouds. Whoops! Wait, didn't Michael, was his name? Was it Michael in the chat was saying the sun is 33 miles up? You got a problem. Hold the press.
Hold the press.
What's going on here?
So here's more
daily realm. Sorry,
more clouds behind the sun footage. We've seen plenty of that, but then here's another way of looking at things. So when I was looking for the sunrise and sunset from the airplane window, this is the kind of footage that you run into where the plane is above the clouds, but you have the clouds being lit from below and they turn all orange and incredible like it's lava. Right? This has got to be one of the most spectacular things to see from an airplane. I would love to see this. You can see where the sun is. It's below the clouds, and it's super illuminating the clouds from below them. It's a little blurry footage. We'll find some better stuff. All right, so this is from that guy. There was sun goes to finish. Let's get another one of these airplane ones. All right, so just search YouTube for footage like this. Alright, so the sun is below the airplane, below. The plane is above, sun is below. Very obvious, it's below. Look at these colors. So the plane is flying above this layer of clouds right here. That's obvious. Now look at the way this is being illuminated underneath, and that sun is going lower.
Shill. You said illuminated.
Illuminating, yes, the light does that.
Yeah, we're so illuminated, we shine.
Do you see how the tops of these clouds have now gone dark? There's no light on top of the clouds. It's only below them because the sun has gotten low enough now that it can't cast light on the top of these clouds anymore. And look at the way you have these hot pockets of the way the sun is underneath and shining through the clouds in these spots. This is like that other footage where we saw it so super red. On this day, it's coming through pink.
You guys understand if that we were living on a sphere, right? This would all be curving away from you, and you'd see like a gap between the curved Earth and the sun as it peeked through that. There would only be a tiny section that the sun could go under, right? This absolutely does not work.
This footage is just amazing what they got to see here. So no shadows above the clouds anymore, only below. But look at this beautiful pink lava,
amazing.
Orange lava, whatever, shining through there.
It's incredible.
Look at this. You can tell it's not CGI.
Okay, I want to get a picture.
There's a lot of footage like this from people that fly. Everybody wants to record. Somebody else has got their camera.
My camera sucks. I wish it looked prettier.
If that's not the ultimate hanging out below the smash right there, I don't know what it is. Right?
Yeah, for sure. It does the job. But we are your reality witnesses. I continue to say that.
Here's another one. You can see that the clouds right now, they don't have, there's light in the sky, there's ambient light, but there's no hardline shadows across these clouds. The sun is below, and you can see it peeking through in this little sliver back here. So the sun's peeking through that little sliver in the clouds right there, but this layer of clouds goes back to the horizon. See the sun peeking through that one spot right there?
Yeah.
All right, now because of the angle change, can't see it anymore. But look at what you start seeing.
The sun's going to rise up.
Start seeing these pockets of red out here.
There it is. The sun's rising up. He went back down.
Well, it's back here, so it still has to get up over that edge back there. But you can see the pockets of red starting to open up. You'll actually start seeing them, that red coming all the way through here now. Start seeing it glow around here. This is all underlit, orange clouds below. Eventually that sun's going to get up over the edge of that, and it'll start casting its shadows above the clouds. See these pockets of lava? They just continue to get brighter and brighter. Oh, this is some really nice footage. I'm going to let this one go for a little bit. Watch the color in these clouds just intensify and intensify until the sun breaks over the top of this. This is gorgeous.
No curvature anywhere. In fact, the plane is level, flying level. If we were on a sphere, the plane would have to dip its nose down all the time, or it would just fly straight off into outer space. And it's flying flat and straight.
Dead reckoning across the stereographic map.
Wrapping from one edge to the other like asteroids.
And then you'll see that now as the sun comes up above this cloud layer, the brightness of the red in the clouds will begin to diminish, and then the brightness of the sun's going to overwhelm this camera a little bit. You can see the way the red is diminishing now that the sun is coming up over that edge of the cloud layer. I'm just going to jump ahead a few times, see if we get... there it is up in the sky. They're coming to the end of this cloud layer. That was amazing footage. What else did we have here? Well, there's this is the Matt Long from Woketown when he recorded with the P900. The sun coming up through the clouds.
Now, if the sun was 93 million miles away, it would be rising at the horizon.
So it's not
in the middle of the clouds.
Not like these people don't know
there.
about this.
So I was
He's
about
pointing out
34,000 feet
the horizon
when I was recording this with my
and that the sun
P900,
was in front of the horizon.
and I don't see how that is possible if the sun is 93 million miles away.
Or 33 miles, or 3,000 miles. Right, because it was below the clouds. Let's see, there's... just I want to encourage people, do some of your own research. All this footage is out there. You got pilots that love to record. This guy was showing he was chasing the sun, right? So he's not fast enough to catch it, but when you look back here in his footage, you can see he's flying over a snowy area, but you can see that the sun is high enough that it's casting shadows off of this topography down here. You can see the shadows being cast, but they're long and low. And so it's getting closer and closer to sunset. Still shadows being cast. The sun is still high enough. And then once we get to like this section here, listen to this.
It belongs to Chicago's center, not Cedar Rapids approach, which is why the latter cannot provide flight following for me until I descend. For this short flight, I decide to forego flight following, and instead I'm going to call approach later in the descent.
It's pretty easy to see that, looking out here to the left, that the sun is no longer hitting the ground, so...
It's a profound statement, right? As you look out here to the left, you can see that the sun is no longer hitting the ground. But then when he turns and looks forward, sun's still up. Why can't it hit the ground? Well, Ronnie's got the #1 explanation for this on the internet with his perspective video. And that is from the ground, from that elevation, the observer, the sun is now outside of their circle of sight. So they no longer get the sun, but because you're in an airplane here and you're high enough, you're still within the circle of sight. Now, because the airplane can't travel fast enough, he can't keep up with it, and he can't maintain keeping it in the sky. All right, if you could travel fast enough, you could maintain keeping the sun up in the sky. But the people down here, they don't have sunlight. So this is another one of those AE mappa model smashes. It's the globe model is going to say that these people right now are behind the curve. But then you would see a hard terminator line as well, which you don't. So there's just so many different ways to look at this, people. I just want to point a few of them out to you. This guy right here is on the Freemason New World Order team. Promotes a shrinking sun.
Robert.
Shrinking sun, right? It's coming, it's going, it shrinks, it grows. He talks about moisture in the air. This is what all the shills talk about, humidity and atmospheric domes and stuff like that. Yet what he records is some of the most incredible. So he's got clouds out at very similar shot to what I had, right? These clouds are down where they're even to the point where you're seeing the reflection of them above the water, very, very close to the horizon line. He's getting a sunrise here, and as he zooms into it...
Population that's largely deceived.
Once his focus comes in... We'll see how long it takes to...
Someone's asking about the sun under the clouds, but even distribution of daylight unaffected. So what we clearly know that the scriptures tell us is that the light was separated from the darkness first, right? So there's already a light that comes before the sun rises in the sky. I don't know if that's exactly answering your question. It's just not the sun that illuminates the realm. There's a light that accompanies with the sun, not the same. It comes first, right? And after the sun leaves, sets into the ground, it stays illuminated still.
All right. So, and here's another one of his footages. It's similar in many ways to what I captured in St. Martin.
That's the other thing. We're not telling you guys the one-off, someone faked filming Chicago from, 14 miles away, trying to say that it was 60 miles away. We show you actual observable things that are repeatable. You could literally go out and watch the sunrise and sunset with clouds in front of it and behind it with your own eyes. You don't even need a camera. You just have to go and look, right?
All right. So this
Although
is
a P1000 does help.
This is the area that the sun is going to rise from. Look at what you have All right, this is fantastic. There's the jello-y effect that you'll get sometimes. See that little rippling effect along the highlights of the clouds there? How much longer until sunrise? It's pretty close.
It's amazing. Look at that.
This really is top notch stuff. Now,
So
he shares it 1080. It could be recorded 4K. But still, it's nice that he put this up at 1080 at least. The sun is about to come. You can start to see it's starting to cast some bright rays, and it's starting to create some shadows here. And here comes the very first edge of it. Came from nothing above what looks like the water right here, and it's going to grow into something. Then it's going to do what we've watched so many times now, and we'll continue to watch. See, this is filling in with clouds around it. Watch. See how it's eating up this cloud right here? It's going to eat that up, and it's going to come up through it. So this is below those clouds. Below. And it's coming up full diameter. It's not coming in tiny, going out tiny. We can look at Dave Weiss's CGI of what he says is happening.
nah. Go and look at it yourselves, everybody. You want to laugh. It's absolutely not reality. It's stupid.
He got
He's an
upset
idiot.
when I started to share it on the Baby Truther show.
He's a clown. Of course he got upset because it's fake. He didn't want us to share any debunked stuff. He just wanted us to show our map model, and then he wanted to tell us that we're stupid or we don't understand it. Well, you have to do research, Dave. You actually have to think.
All right. This is absolutely amazing. And then it's gonna rise up. It's gonna come out of those clouds. Does he show it again? No, that'll be his last zoom of it. He's got so much of this on his channel, everyone. If you want some, I'll point it out. Don't listen to what he's saying. Everything that he's speaking is nonsense, but all this footage, look at the way the sun is wrapped in this cloud. It's like a hand is holding onto the sun right there. Absolutely amazing. Look at this. Do you see how locally illuminated the sky is? I'm like, of course the whole sky has ambient light to it, but the light that's being shined from the sun right here is really just only affecting just this area right here around it. You could turn and look at any other cloud. In fact, look at this. You see how everything else is dark out here? The sun is just right around that area. That's what you witness when you actually go out and record it, is this.
There is. Open your
Um,
eyes, people. Open your eyes. Get out there and look at stuff. See what's going on. Don't be fooled by science. Right? Wake up. Come on.
are you gonna have any screen shares tonight, or is it just gonna be me tonight?
No. What did you want me to screen share?
Oh no,
You just had a few
I'm
more
just gonna-
topics. I thought.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to a thumbnail and then I'll bring up. I'll bring up some comments.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have much. We didn't want to go super long podcast. We just wanted to get on air and say hi and show some stuff. We didn't really. We're just decompressing. It's been a lot of work lately. A lot of content, and a lot's coming. Right? Lots. Tons of stuff coming. New videos all the time. Did you play that thing twice? Can people hear me through that effect?
Yes.
Okay, you've got the controls. Did you want me to screen share? Because I could come up with 20 tabs if you really want.
No,
We're
I was
not-
just.
we're
I
not
was just
ever
asking.
leaving. We're staying on all night, ladies and gentlemen. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So I wanted to point out this comment from Migmag. It's not a comment that I'm going to publish, but I want to talk about it. I wanted to talk about it with you here. So Migmag is a channel that's been around in the fake flat earth, probably from 2015. It's about the same size channel as this channel. He says, has anyone ever been knighted on YouTube stream or live chat? My first impression is this is ridiculous. If this has never happened live and shared publicly before, why would you assume this is a serious knighting event? Such secret society this is. Laugh out loud. It is difficult to confirm who is COINTEL, but you
You can always judge people by their actions.
throwing false accusations, making drama videos. These are distractions in my book. We are on a sinking ship in this slave system. No time for distractions. Time to work on local solutions.
Oh, Mick Mag is gross. He's longtime flat earther, Globebuster supporter, fake flat earther, coming in with just nonsense here.
Well,
Like, what?
I want to show everybody. Here's Migmag's channel. What do you see?
He's got
what do you
the
see?
Club
The
of
moment?
Rome on the right is what I see. The globe earth symbolism. He's got the laurel wreaths. He's got the Rosicrucianist. This is all Jesuit, Freemasonic, Temple, Knights Templar, all the same crap we were talking about right here. Here it is. He's got
Exactly
it all
the
over his
guys.
channel.
Yeah. Oh, the people that are knighted, right? So he's got the New World Order, Freemason, AE map and model right from the UN, front dead center. And he's got the snake one, Rand Corporation, IPS, Club of Rome, all these things. This is what this channel reps. Like if you look through this, it's what it's all about. It's all about Jesuit stuff. How long does it take for us to find Jesuit stuff on the channel?
Not long. New York Minute. Jesuit, and what you missed it.
Did I?
I don't know. It doesn't even matter. You can go and look. He's got it. He's got tons of gross stuff on his channel. Whatever. He's a truther. If you want to get you some of that, go ahead. Like I said, we don't tell people not to watch other people, but we definitely see through their nonsense. So he's got skeebers.
Oh, that's an
3
old
years
one.
ago, huh?
Yeah.
Let's
Gatekeeping
play
you.
that. Let's play that. Let's give Mick Mag a shot here.
The beast comes from the bottomless pit in Revelation chapter 17.
Oh,
It's an open
Is
book
this the
test. So I ask people,
vaccinate
where is the
thing?
Antichrist coming from? Open book test, Revelation 17. He comes from the bottomless pit, which means he's not coming from Kenya
sorry, Steve.
or the Vatican or anywhere else that you always hear some guy out there preaching.
All right. So
He's just,
Migmag is part of this crew up here that's been repping the Freemason New World Order AE map the whole way. And now I found it interesting. I'm going to publish this comment here. I just wanted to save it so that John B. Wells didn't end up taking it down. But it says, this Midnight Caravan show has on its website called Arc Nights. All right, so that was a great tip. I went and checked that out. And if we go to John B. Wells' site, Over here on the right side where it says more, you can click on that, and then it's got a tab, Arc Knights. Right, so this is the Arc Knights tab that we are on right now. And I want you to become familiar with how this works. See if you recognize any of these characters as we roll through. The titles on some of these right now, this one's Pastor. We got Tommy Robinson. Sort of, some people have probably heard of Tommy Robinson. Then we start seeing Knight Charles
Shill.
Cups, right? Knight.
You know, this is the group of people that he knights on a show, right? David's been removed.
David's been removed.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Any of these other names jump? Here's Knight Joseph Meyer. Knight.
Yeah, James Fetzer. He's a big guy who made his fame to claim with Sandy Hook. Used to be on a bunch of other talk shows. Alex Jones connected. A bunch of these people are connected to Jones. AJ.
Knight MS Mills. Knight Bill Still.
Mm-hmm.
Command Sergeant, right? So military mix. Here's Knight PK. All right, so PK has his knighting still up on the website, but David had his taken down because he went fake flat earth, and John B. Wells is not down with anything other than a spinning ball flying through space, right? Knight Robert Sullivan. Knight Roger Stone. Knight David Bloom. Knight Doug Hagman. He's a famous name. Knight Stuart Rhodes. Knight Dr. Jerome Corsi. Knight Theory Vran. Knight William the Lionheart. Knight David Wilcox. Knight Joel Gilbert. Knight William Kern. Knight Anthony Patch. Alright, so there's a character some people might know from YouTube. Knight Richard Grove. Knight Casper McLeod. Knight David Icke. Knight Dr. John Apsley. Knight Dr. Stephen Greer. Here's your aliens guy. He's a knight. Knight Trevor Luden. Knight Dr. Ted Barr. Knight James Penston. Knight David Jackson. Knight Jim Defless. Knight Ken O'Keefe. People have heard of Ken O'Keefe. Knight Brett Smith. James O'Keefe. Knight Chuck Dixon. Knight Jack Sen. Knight Joel Skoosen. Knight Adam Kosh. Knight James. Knight. And then Dame. I had to look this up. Like, I thought it might be this, but a Dame. Dames. Where is it? I thought I had Dame in free. Well, the tab that I had doesn't seem to have it anymore, but yeah, dames were like the female version of a knight. So we got 3 dames here. Another dame, more dames. Got lots of dames. Judy Wood. So people familiar with 9/11 probably have heard of Judy Wood. That's a dame. Knight James Martins. Senator Richard Black. Here's some more knights. We got Cheryl Atkinson, was a dame. All right, so I just wanted to point out to Meg that those people are all considered knights. And they were on his show, John B. Wells. PK is still up on the site as a knight. So it's not a joke. It happened. They're all a part of the same team, and you're just trying to throw cover and trying to shame us for exposing these people while you are part of that same group. So it bothers me. It bothers me. So I'm going to delete that comment. And then these were the comments that I had received from somebody regarding what we already covered. So you guys say that the clouds are physically touching the ground. No, we don't say the clouds are physically touching the ground. But the cloud can be right at the water line, right in front of the sun, and we demonstrated that over and over and over again. We just didn't have the opportunity to do that on the Baby Truther show. So that was a response to them, and it's just a little bit of house cleaning. It sort of bothered me that they got to take that shot at us without us having the ability to rebut it at all. So there was that stuff. I'm trying to think, is there anything else?
There was a tiny update with some celestial stuff, but we don't really have to get into it. Depends. I didn't.
You want to take a look at Stellarium a little bit?
Sure. Why not?
All right. So this I'm actually going to switch to.
Okay. You've got a little bit more to worry about concerning Anthony Patch than him being knighted on the John B. Wells internet. Anthony touts a lot of disinformation, atoms and quantum mechanics, and lots of just blah, blah, blah. He's gross. He's an intelligent man that is definitely not having a true agenda. He wants to follow his vain imaginations. Excuse me. I think we've lost sound. You've lost your desktop share. I wonder how long that's been going for. Just got it in from the producer. So sorry about that. And I was unmuted, so you guys probably heard me breathing. I was catching up with the chat.
Okay. So
Let's start that again. Hopefully that wasn't too long. Forgive us, everybody.
it seems like it was probably a really long time.
No.
Well, as soon as I went to the screen share,
I could hear you.
yeah, but the microphone wasn't on in this scene. So let me walk us back through this. We're not in a hurry. We're going to go to where we're at now. All right, so here's Mars in the bottom of Libra, and watch, it's going to be moving into the pinchers of Scorpio. So this begins around 1718, and then I was saying that the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, is December 21st, supposedly. You got to double check and verify that, but you have Mars right in the pinchers of Scorpio right there. And so then everybody's paying attention to Christmas. The war is going to be won on Christmas, right? So on Christmas, Mars is here. And as we continue, the day is here. You see Mars moving between the legs of Ophiuchus. And Steve Fletcher had pointed out that Venus becomes the morning star, he said, January 8th. So here we are with Mars in this position. Now what we're going to be doing is looking for sunrise. And right there, you see Venus right at the horizon. So it's just coming above the horizon. This is 7:23 in Austin, Texas. And you can see Venus coming up in the Cape of, who is this? That's Sagittarius. So the sun is in Sagittarius, and Venus becomes the morning star. Now remember, we had been pointing out to everybody, remember the new moon, where we had the new moon where it was right on the bowstring, and Sagittarius was over Scorpius, and it was shooting like straight down on it. So here we are, January 8th, and this is sunrise, and Sagittarius is coming up with the sun in Sagittarius, Venus in Sagittarius, and this character really is depicted as a horse rider, right, with a bow, horse rider with a bow and a crown. So I find that interesting.
And the sun.
And the sun.
And the sun. Close with the sun. Which is very parabolic, actually.
Very parabolic. And so you can't see Mars anymore, but Mars, remember, was between the legs of Ophiuchus. It had moved through the pinchers of Scorpius. And so this is what we're seeing in the sky. This is the narrative that's playing out in the sky right now. What's the narrative on the ground, everyone?
Yeah.
What do you
mean? With the cerveza? Where do you want to go with this?
Well, what is
do you
it?
want me to say?
This holiday season, this is going to be a tough one, because we're coming into the most severe of restrictions around the world regarding the unmentionable topic, and then we've got people that are being separated from family members because they didn't participate in a certain ritual, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the world situation. I'll just show people quickly what I had seen on a forum. So that's
excuse me.
There was a poll put up today. What's the next major event? The big one. So they gave these options: A, Iran versus Israel; B, cyber attack; C, China versus Taiwan; D, Russia versus Ukraine; E, major lockdown with these types of passports going into effect; natural events such as a meteor, volcano, or a pole shift; World War III.
No pole shift, though. Sorry. That one is, don't expect that one.
Sorry. An outbreak, and
that's
economic crash, and digital currency. So when I looked at this list, I saw all of these things right here probably taking place right after something like, where is it? Oh, yeah. So the verses, Iran, Israel, all those things, maybe all taking place because of something like this, cyber attack, and that being called this, World War III. And then during all this, a natural event, something biblical, and then the major lockdowns due to this thing, and then full economic crash, and then the switch
And
to
that thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I
So-
see that as their plan, and we've always known it's the plan. We've been saying it for years. G, we're already in G, but I mean, you disagree in a bit of a way. We haven't had physical bombs and stuff happen yet. It's been a spiritual world war. H is a joke. I is right around the corner. We keep hearing everybody, screaming about it. So, if they crash that, then they will have their, the go ahead with the new, one world coin. So everybody has their digital Fed coin, and it's completely tracked. And that's where they are headed.
Yeah, so
completely.
once all that happens, then we'll be able to say that we are finally in the Great Tribulation. Now, is it going to be easy? No. The scriptures tell us that we are going to have to go through tribulation.
A division, right?
We're not
And suffering.
rapture watchers, because the scriptures in no place is there the expectation of a pre-trib rapture. That's to get people's hopes up, to have them crushed and have them. The whole idea behind pushing rapture was so that when the Great Tribulation kicks off and people start to realize that they have to go through this, that they'll be bitter. They'll feel like they were left behind and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just talking about, when we meet up, like I won't be, but other people out there, when they're meeting up with their family members, a lot of them don't share the same truths as you guys, and be prepared emotionally to, try not to get into any arguments, let people walk their own path. I strongly suggest staying completely away from anyone that triggers arguments with you, and because you're not taking part in the New World Order tyranny. So I know it's hard. I know it's going to be lonelier because this is division that's taking place. But the good news is like there's many ways we can still stay connected to each other. Online, you can find other ways to reach out. You can fight for truth. There's a lot of things that you can do with your time instead of, going to your family's house and arguing about the cerveza. So you got the calendar up. You want to go over calendar now?
I'm just going to point out quickly that we super paid attention to that new moon sighting December 5th, well documented, and so the 15th day. This is the 9th month. Everybody, 9th month, not 10th month. We've been tracking this. We went with the first new moon after the equinox, spring equinox. And so this is the 9th new moon. And this right here, it says abomination of desolation. So from the scriptures, it mentions an abomination of desolation that took place on the 15th of the 9th month. So that's referring to what took place at the old temple. Right? But that was on the 15th of the 9th month. So that does line up this year with December 19th. And then another thing that the scriptures mention is the 24th day of the 9th month. That's when the great shaking is mentioned in the scriptures. So that comes in at December 28th of this month. And then we're expecting our next new moon sighting, January 3rd. Now from the scriptures, the first day of the 10th month is when the tops of the mountains were seen. Right after the flood. So these are things that we just keep our mind, keep our attention to. And this is, for the next couple of weeks, this is what we're going to be paying attention to and watching the headlines and seeing if anything does transpire during this holiday season. Everything's set up for it. We'll see if it actually happens. Is there anything else you wanted to go through?
And we're always watching. We're always witnessing what's going on, especially in reality, because we are the reality witnesses, right?
We are
Yeah, go ahead.
we are the reality witnesses.
So we'll have Friday coming up. There should be a new video on the Limitless channel Friday. I'm hoping to get it ready and finished. I'm looking forward to creating more content for you guys on the other side of the screen. Be bold, be strong. Don't let anybody tell you guys that what you're observing isn't real. I see a lot of mockery. I see a lot of naysayers showing up, and let them. Scribes and Pharisees tried to stop Yahawahashai to no avail. The truth will always win, right? And that's what we came here to do, is to share truth.
Absolutely. Well, it's
Great
been
job
fun
tonight.
Yeah, it's been fun, brother. Where did you hear this?
Only on the Yahawahashai News Network.